Hello and welcome back to a new live show on AUK Radio. I'm your host, Adeyinka Omishore. On this show, we talk about our health and wellness and everything else in between. And this episode is no exception. But before we dive into today's topic, here is our short disclaimer. What we provide here for you is information for general purposes only. We're not here to diagnose, neither are we here to prescribe. So please do speak to your healthcare provider in the first instance, especially if you're considering making changes to your lifestyle. So, with that being said, let's get into today's show. Now, on today's show, we're going to be talking about two painful womb conditions. Yes, two painful womb conditions that are often misunderstood, misdiagnosed, and even dismissed. Something like it's all in your mind or it's a normal period pain. Now, that begs the question, what exactly is normal about a normal period pain? Well, that's another topic for another show. So today, we will be talking about endometriosis and adenomyosis. Two painful womb conditions that drastically affect a woman's life, woman's quality of life. Now, here is a staggering fact. According to NHS England, around 1 in 10 women of reproductive age have endometriosis, but it often takes up to 9 years on average to get a diagnosis. That's nearly a decade of pain, confusion, unanswered questions. That's a long time to be in pain. Adenomyosis, on the other hand, while less known, can cause equally severe pain and bleeding, and is often mistaken for fibroids or normal period pain. Again, what's normal about period pain? However, these conditions are not just bad periods. They affect everything from energy levels to fertility, to mental health, to relationship, and to a woman's everyday life. So imagine that. Well, on today's show, to help us understand this condition better, and really from a personal perspective, I am joined by my incredible guest, yes, for a second time, who is a voice and advocacy and have become a beacon of hope for many women walking the same path. Sisi Alero, welcome to the show again.
Thank you for having me again.
It's a joy to have you again. How are you?
I'm good, thank you.
Excellent. So I'm super excited that you're here again, and we're going to talk about these two conditions and get to know more about it. So for those who don't know you, I will just read a short part of your bio. Now, Sisi Alero, whose full name is Adeyinka Omishore, is a woman's health advocate, speaker, and blogger with over 30 years of lived experience navigating womb disorders, including the two we're going to be talking about today, endometriosis, adenomyosis, and fibroids. Now, after a long personal journey that led to total hysterectomy, Alero has transformed her pain into purpose. She founded the Sisi Alero, a platform dedicated to open conversations about women's reproductive health, and later also founded Femme Power Hub, a safe, supportive space where women can learn, share, and heal together. So through her work, Alero continues to break the taboos and push for greater awareness, understanding, and empathy around menstrual and womb health. So welcome again, and join me in welcoming Alera back to the show.
Thank you.
Good. I know we're starting rather early today. Earlier when we had a conversation, you said, maybe we should have done it a little bit later. But after this, you get to have the rest of the day to yourself.
Good
right?
day.
Yeah. Me, on the other hand, it's a busy, on the go, but it's all good. So let's get started. And so I got a few questions I want to ask you. One of them being, help us to understand endometriosis and adenomyosis. What's the difference?
So usually we would hear people say, oh, adenomyosis and endometriosis are twin sisters. For me, it's far from it. I mean, they have identical or similar symptoms, but they're totally different. So with adenomyosis, let me just break it down in the easiest, simplest way I can explain it. It's a condition where the lining of the womb grows into the muscle of the womb. So that's the muscle of the uterus, which is the womb. It grows into the lining and causes the symptoms that we usually have, which is painful periods, heavy bleeding, dysmenorrhea, menorrhagia, and all of that. While endometriosis is when the cells, similar to the lining of the womb, grows outside of the womb, and it, for me, I call it a whole or full body condition, a full body disease, because it doesn't just affect our reproductive organs. It can affect any other place. It's recently been found in, some people said they found in the wrist, in the brain, different places. So it's not just about your organs as well. It can go in any place. So I look at endometriosis almost similar to cancer. The only difference is it's not going to kill you, but the pain, the debilitating pain you go through when you have it is just ridiculous.
Wow.
So those are the two differences. They have similar symptoms, painful periods, very, very painful, pelvic pains, bloating, pain during sex.
Wow.
So it affects, that's why I say it's a full body condition, because it affects your quality of life.
Absolutely.
You are having abdominal pain, you have leg pain, especially your left leg, the pain there. I'm using my experience to explain these symptoms, because some people don't have all of it, but everything I've mentioned, I had to go through those things.
Yes,
so especially if you've got both of them together, you can't really differentiate what is triggering the pain, because they have similar symptoms. And also some of the symptoms are similar to what you have when you have fibroids. So it's really, really something that you can't,
It's like,
so those are just a few of the symptoms that you can get. And still in 2025, there's still no known cause for these conditions, and there's still no cure for them. The only cure at the moment for adenomyosis is hysterectomy, because it affects the inside of the womb and they can't treat it. They don't know what causes it. So the only way is to take out the womb, and that stops it. But if you can manage with the pain, if you just have adenomyosis, it is said that when you go into menopause, it comes to an end. I don't know anybody yet that has gone into menopause with adenomyosis to tell me personally that that's how it is. But yes.
That's the hypothesis.
That's hypothesis, exactly. But with endometriosis, there is still no cure. Some people will say, oh, after you have surgery. No, after if you have total hysterectomy, after you take out your womb, you still have endo, because like I said, endometriosis is outside of the womb. It's not affecting the inside of the womb. So in my situation, I had it in my bowel, and I still have it now, even though I've had total hysterectomy. I still have endometriosis. So it's still an ongoing condition with no cure. And I think basically until we find the root cause of these conditions, we can't, all we have to do is, especially endo, you just have to keep having surgeries.
How many surgeries can you get?
Exactly, which is why I said I couldn't do that anymore and had to hysterectomy to help minimize, the pain I was going through. But also, as we go along, we'll discuss more things about it.
Okay. Well, thank you for that answer. And yes, it's like triplets with pain all through.
I know.
Oh, wow. Bless you. Okay, so your advocacy obviously is rooted in your personal experience. And can you share what led you on this journey and how your story shaped your passion for women's reproductive health?
So with my experiences, because my journey started with me growing up with pain, having painful periods, and obviously being told it's just a normal woman thing, this normal period pain. So I already accepted it from a very young age that period comes with pain. And as I got older, it got worse. Before I was eventually diagnosed with fibroids and then had surgery, later on adenomyosis and then endo. So the period where I had adenomyosis, where I was diagnosed with adenomyosis, I was going into severe depression because my quality of life was close to nothing. Going in and out of hospital, having blood transfusions, iron infusions, because I was always so tired, so weak. I could not plan because I could say I was going to go meet up with friends or do something, and the pain would keep me in bed. I could barely move. And I mean, way back 2018, even 2017, with all the pain, trying to figure out what was causing the pain, asking questions.
Yeah.
Social media wasn't the way it is now. And when you go to Google and, type in what is adenomyosis, my goodness, it just puts so much fear in you because the definition and everything, and the doctors are not saying anything. And so I think in the quest of going into depression, I started talking about it, just the way I was feeling, really, not really about the condition itself. And I noticed that people started asking me questions. Oh, I have this, I have that, Oh, I feel this way as well. Could it be, And that's how it kicked in. It wasn't, Cecilia didn't start because I wanted to advocate. It was more of me expressing frustration. And it's now grown into being me advocating for women because the more I heard people tell me their story, especially the Black community, they don't want to come out there to say anything. They're coming behind to ask questions, coming behind to ask, what can I do? What should I do? Or how did you go about this? So that's how I evolved into becoming an advocate. And also, adenomyosis is not a condition that's spoken about much. I mean, even when you have campaigns, the campaigns are for endometriosis, and you don't hear much about adenomyosis. And I wanted to put that out there more.
Yeah.
And which was what I was doing mostly back then, before I was actually diagnosed with endometriosis. And this is how it started and kicked off. And and that's what has shaped my passion for. Yes.
So thank you for that. So you have CCLR platform, and you also have the Fem Power Hub.
The Fem Power Hub.
Yeah. So is that the one on Facebook?
Yes, it's on Facebook.
That's the one on Facebook. Okay. Well, you hear it, ladies? If you want to know more, check out Fem Power on Facebook. So you said already that, many people have heard about endometriosis, and now we're hearing about adenomyosis, but so confused the two. And you've eloquently explained the differences, between the two. So thank you for that. So my next question is, why do you think these two conditions are often misunderstood, misdiagnosed, even among healthcare professionals?
I think, well, I'll start from saying first, it's misunderstood because, as I said, I grew up with being told that women live with pain. It was normal. And now when I hear that quote, it's frustrating. Like, period pain is not normal. You shouldn't be having pain. I mean, you could have mild pain and then take paracetamol, that, wears it off. But when you're living with pain, like having to hold on to walls, having to hold on to something to move about, no, it's not normal. So because it's been taken like it's normal, a lot of people tend to ignore it. And even the doctors just tell you, oh, it's just your period. Oh, don't worry, take this painkiller, take this and that, rest. So it's become a norm, like a normal thing for women to have that. I think secondly would be, I'd say, because some people are on, especially like teenagers or women in their early 20s, some of them are on contraceptives, like on the pill.
The pill.
Or something, or because some women, because maybe they got married early or they don't want to have kids early, they're using the Mirena coil or something, one thing or the other. It kind of covers or masks the true thing that they've got the condition, and they don't realize that until they decide, you know what, I want to start having kids, or I want to go off the pill. And as soon as they go off, and you can imagine someone who's been on it for about 10, 15, 20 years, because some of them start taking, some women, or should I say young girls, start
teenagers
on the pill as early as 14. So by the time they're ready, they might be in their late 20s, and then they go off it, and boom. So so it's in such situations, which is a lot these days, you find that the period they could have found out about it, they didn't, because it was masked. So maybe when they have pain during they'll say, oh, it's because I'm taking this, or they just, your mind doesn't go to say, oh, maybe something else is wrong. And obviously, because like I said, we believe that pain is normal. We just carry on. So that is one of the major reasons I feel it gets missed early. And sometimes it is because we are ignored. That's just the truth. Because I know for years I kept saying something was wrong, and I didn't get the answers I wanted. And
did I just feel like,
even after I was diagnosed with adenomyosis, yes. Oh, trust me, you hear that a lot.
Oh, wow.
You hear that a lot. And when I had adenomyosis, I knew something else was wrong, because my symptoms were getting worse. And that's when I started looking into endo. And I was like, I don't want to, as a woman of faith, I don't want to call forth, as we say, another disease into my life. So I was like, nah, it's not possible. I reject it. I reject it, But I knew for sure that something else was wrong. And I kept saying to the doctor, something is wrong. I actually even changed my surgery, because I felt I wasn't being listened to. I changed my GP, and eventually I was sent for the MRI, and by the time it was checked, I mean, from 2018 to 2023, you can imagine. By the time I was diagnosed in 2023 or late 2022, it was really bad. My fallopian tubes were already fully damaged. My ovaries were fully damaged. So
Wow. So,
and obviously the also with the bowel endometriosis, I kept saying to them, I'm always feeling constipated. I'm always feeling like I'm struggling to go to the toilet. I'm eating fiber. I'm eating, a lot of things that should make me go easily.
Open up.
But it was a struggle. When I couldn't go and I complained to the GP, I was given medication to help pass out, feces, like Movicol and all of that, and something to help with the constipation. But I knew that wasn't normal as well. So I kept complaining about this. And then I started seeing blood. And then they sent me for colonoscopy, and they found 2 polyps. And they said, oh, they took out the 2 polyps. But even after that, it was still the same. And because of the severe pain I've lived with I had it over 3 decades living with that pain. I ended up with hemorrhoids, because whenever my period comes, I'm in serious pain, it pulls out. It pulls out because of the pressure that was being pressed on in my bowels, which I didn't realize. But over the years, it's become, I had hemorrhoids. So they said, oh, maybe it's because of the hemorrhoids I was bleeding. But When I went to A&E at one point because of how much bleeding I was having, and I didn't even, imagine not going to the toilet where you're passing out blood from behind.
Wow.
And they checked and they said, your hemorrhoids, no, it's not from the hemorrhoids. Something is wrong. And they checked them.
Wow.
Anyway, it took a long process, going back and forth with no answers before I was eventually sent for laparoscopy and all of that. And anyway, diagnosed with
adenomyosis
bowel
and
endometriosis as well. Yeah.
Wow.
That's when they found out I had bowel endometriosis. So, yeah.
Wow. I'm glad you explained earlier about, that the fact that endometriosis can appear pretty much any part of our body.
Anywhere.
But just, from before, I hear, okay, endometriosis got to do with the womb. But for you, you said, bowel endometriosis.
Yeah. You can have it in your bowel, you can have it in your bladder. You can just,
Wow. That's huge. And,
yeah.
I've heard ovaries, your story probably sorry, go ahead.
I said, it can be your ovaries, your fallopian tubes. Anyway.
Yes, I was saying that I've heard your story probably about 3 times now, and each time, it cuts my heart. And just think, how can one human being's body go through such, and especially from a tender age, as a teenager with painful periods, on and on and on. And that's why, when I was introducing the topic, when I said about what exactly is normal about normal period pain, it's not.
Absolutely nothing.
Yeah. So that's, like I said, that's another topic for another day. So just to piggyback back on what you said just now about advocacy. So how can women advocate for themselves, to really, without having go through or you went through, what can women do to, I would say, hasten perhaps a diagnosis or whatever it is might be going on with them?
The first thing I always emphasize on is journaling. Write it down. You just have to have a diary. God bless my mom. She always made me write down the dates I have my period, how long they're for, and all of that. And as I got older, I expatiated on what I was writing. And it became a habit. So when my period was like 3 days, went to 5 days, I always knew that something was working. There was changes going on.
Yeah.
And I would tell the doctors, oh, this has happened. I don't know why this is happening. When you have those written down, and because nobody knows your body better than you do. You're the only one that can speak genuinely for yourself. When you have that written down, you can actually, go to your doctor and say, especially in the UK, you've got like 10 minutes to talk. So when you have all of that written down, you're not going to forget what you want to say. You tell your doctor, this is what I've noticed, these are the changes. And the doctor can also go through and see what you're talking about. And, from there, they can say, okay, you might need to have this blood test or you might need to have a scan done. But most importantly, please don't be quiet about it.
Yeah.
If you're scared about talking to somebody, you can speak to maybe it doesn't have to be your parents, it doesn't have to be your mom. It could be an aunt. It could be, if you're a young person, it could be maybe a teacher in school, someone you can confide in. It could be your friend. But please don't keep it internally. Speak to someone and say, oh, when you have your period, how do you have it? What happens? This is what I'm experiencing. What are your experiences? It can start as a conversation. You don't really have to say, oh, I want to tell you this is happening. You can just say you just want to know if that's normal.
Yes.
And by the time you speak to 2 or 3 people, then you can say, okay, something's not right here. But you do have to speak up for yourself. You can't stay quiet. You can't stay silent. Speak to your doctor or speak to someone around you and compare, especially if you're a young girl, compare with your friends or somebody you can talk to, like I said. Compare your periods with their periods and see what's different.
Excellent. Good tip. Please don't be quiet. Talk. Speak out, speak out, speak out. So talking about speaking out and support. So how can families, partners, and friends better support women dealing with this chronic invisible pain?
Now, this is a topic that people don't like to talk about. Yeah.
It's a taboo topic, right? Yeah.
It is.
Well,
especially when you're talking about, we need to break it, especially when it comes to the men, the brothers, the fathers. My father was supportive. I think out of frustration, he didn't have a choice. Like the days that it was past midnight, I was in pain. With my period, I couldn't lie down in bed. If my period was for a month straight, I am sitting up for a month straight.
What?
I dare not. It feels like my spinal cord is going to break when I try to lie down. So I've got loads of pillows. Anyone that knows me would tell you I'm not lying. I've got loads of pillows and I have to sit up. I can't lie down. So when I have periods for more than a month or two, all through that period, and that drains me more because I can't lie down. So over time, my father
for 4 weeks.
For months. I used to bleed for months as well.
Months.
So yeah. So I mean, back then when I was younger, my dad would just say, you know what, get up, we're going. So he takes me to the hospital. So he knew the symptoms. He knew when it was worse. He knew when it got bad to the point where I needed to be in hospital. So for support, for us to get the support we need from people around us, from family, from friends, from loved ones, from your partners, they need to, number one, understand what you're going through. Number two, they need to, so you need to speak, like I said, speak up. You can't be quiet. I know people that are married, they can't even tell their husband they have pain. You have to speak up. You need to, you need to let them know this is what's happening to you. And they also have to get educated about these things, whatever it is you're going through. If it's just, even fibroids can give you pain. Whatever it is you're passing through, just explain, this is what's going on. This is how I'm feeling. And as men, please, you need to support your women, your sisters, whoever it is in your life, by learning, educating yourself about these things. Number three, which is really, really important, you need to be able to listen. Because sometimes we don't want people telling us, well, I don't want people telling me sorry. Because that's what we get most of the time. Oh, it's started again. Oh, sorry. It's frustrating when they say that. That's not what you want to hear. You just need a listening ear. How are you feeling right now? What would you like me to do to help you? What can I do to help, with the pain? Sometimes all we need is just somebody talking to us to distract our minds from it. Sometimes what we need is just, I need to change the water in the hot water bottle to put behind my back. I can't get up. I'm in pain. Can you help me do that? Sometimes, it's just the simple things. It's not really about, you becoming a doctor overnight. But the simple things, the simple things, just to support us, especially if we need to talk or vent, because at that point we're talking rubbish.
You're in pain.
You're in pain. So you have to just
pain.
we just need somebody that's a bit compassionate and listen to us and understand us without being judgmental about. Because sometimes you hear people say, I've been told you're just an attention seeker. That's what you're looking for. I'm in pain. I'm in pain. I pass out from the pain. That's how bad the pain is. So who wants to be in that kind of pain?
Yeah. Even something as small, and I use the word loosely for a lack of a better word to use, as small as a headache. You want to get rid of it quick.
Exactly.
Let alone a pain that's piercing your inside that you can't lie down. You have to be sitting up for days and weeks on end. Exactly. Who wants to be in that position?
Yeah. So,
Not you, not me.
Just, so those little things would go a long way for family and friends. Educate, listen, be supportive, just help distract our minds from the pain. And like I always say, people who are married or living with family, you should be very thankful, because there's some of us who, there's some women who live on their own.
That's right.
And you're staring at the door. You can't get out of bed. You're looking at the door. You're like, how am I going to get to that door?
Wow.
Because you're in so much pain.
Yeah. Wow. Well, what can a woman in such a situation do? You said they're just going to have to endure that pain for the duration.
Yeah, that's what we do, isn't it? We have to endure, because even with the medications and everything, it could help it a little bit, but it doesn't stop it. Like I said, we don't have, until we get a root cause to what's causing it, we really can't tell what. But you find ways to manage it. You find ways to support your body, support yourself, boost your energy, you know.
Okay, thank you for that. And it brings me to the next question. Can you describe a typical day of someone living with this condition of endometriosis and adenomyosis?
A typical day for me, I would say, when my period before my period starts or kicks in, I get a 2 weeks notice with the pain. The pain kicks in from 2 weeks before the period starts. And once that starts, I know I'm doing a countdown. I can manage the pain in that 2 weeks when I'm moving about. But once the period is coming, like I can tell it's coming. It doesn't, I see people say they go to bed, they get up, oh, my period has started. Like they're bleeding. They found a stain on the bed. No, that doesn't work with the symptoms, with this condition. We get the pains. Some people get it maybe a day before, 2 days, but it depends. But definitely you get pain before your period kicks in. And once the period kicks in, for me, it was a nightmare.
Wow.
I have an umbrella I still use. The umbrella was my walking stick. I used that to move about. I never even knew that you could actually get, walking aids. It was later on I found out that people get walking aids because it's the only way you can support yourself when moving around. Some people use a walker. That's how bad. I used to hold on to the wall, hold on to anything. I'm bent over. I actually have, I now have a bit of a hunchback because I'm always like that.
Wow.
And doing that for years and years on end, you don't realize. So now I'm always trying to sit up straight and push myself because my body is now actually a bit curved from the pain.
Wow.
And my body is so tensed. Every time I go for a massage, they tell me, you're so tense. That was my own way of controlling my pain. So on a day-to-day basis, when you're on your period, you tend to go through all of that pain, trying to maneuver, to do things. Some people can't even go to work. I mean, back in the days when I didn't even know I had adenomyosis and endo, when I had fibroids, I was working in the bank. Everyone knew that I had period problems. Everyone knew. You can't hide the pain. Sometimes I would have to go in the bathroom and sit down there and I'm crying because I'm in so much pain. I can't go home.
Wow.
I can't go home. I'll be in pain. And over the years, I had to start overdosing on painkillers just to manage. And it doesn't even last for hours. There are medications that people would take and they'll say it makes them sleepy and dizzy. And I'm like, I take that overdose and nothing happens,
Nothing.
Why would it,
Wow.
So it's horrific because you can't manage.
Just feeling that constant pain.
Yeah. And then you're hungry and you don't even know what you can eat that will stay down, because with me, I was always throwing up. I would have a fever, have a headache, diarrhea, constipation, everything. It's just from back to back. There's something happening. Then you eat a little thing and you're feeling bloated. You're feeling like very heavy, like you've eaten too much, but you're hungry. So it just comes with different symptoms. And daily, you just have to find ways to manage it. Find what can, you can put down that will stay down. It's just, it makes you miserable. It makes you, to be honest, I know the people, I've heard from people, apart from myself, you become very suicidal because you just feel so wasted. You're like, why?
Wow.
And I just like, why? Why is this happening? I said to God, I'm praying, I've begged you, I've pleaded, I've asked you for mercy, bringing the faith into it. Just, when is this going to end? And then it's just carrying on and on. But until the period subsides and everything goes again, then maybe you have that break of normality again. And then you want to do everything and anything, but you're so tired because you're drained.
Yes.
But yes.
Wow.
So it's just the daily task of, I mean, you just want the day to end. You're just doing the countdown.
Yeah.
Just countdown. It's not, and you can't plan. When it starts for me, I just don't bother. I don't do anything. I like, there's no point. But it took a while. After some time, I did say to myself, how long am I going to let this pain control my life? So even when I'm in pain and I need to do something, I drag myself to it. But people would know that something is wrong because I just show my face and go back home. But
wow.
But that was a daily living for most people that have it. That's what they go through. That's what they go through. They can't.
Wow.
It's a tough one.
It is.
I used to wish that there could be like carers to come and help. Yeah, because oh my God.
Wow.
Yeah.
This is huge.
You can't. I couldn't. I'm someone that, I mean, friends will say you have a bit of OCD. I'm someone that loves to clean and everything is tidy, prim and proper. But when I'm in my period,
there's no,
you know, the way I feel in here is the way my environment feels or looks. Everywhere's, I don't really see any. Everywhere's scattered. It's a mess. I'm like, I don't care at that point because I can't even do it. Sometimes I do try to, just to say, okay,
yeah,
I try to, but it's so much, and I'm crying. Sometimes I say, okay, there's something I want to eat apart from what's in the fridge, and I'm trying to make that. I'm crying and I'm making it. I'm crying. I'm in tears because I'm in so much pain. Especially when you stand on your legs. Oh my God, when you're on your feet, the pain, the pressure that goes up and down.
Wow.
But yeah.
Wow.
So
sending you some virtual hugs. Wow. Just
thank you. So when they say it's an invisible pain, it's indeed, I say to people, it's not invincible. You only need to look at that person properly and know something is wrong.
Wow. This is huge. This is huge. So earlier on, I mentioned about the statistics of how long it takes to get a diagnosis. What would you say contributes to this long delay in getting a diagnosis? That I think so far in our conversation, you probably mentioned it about the fact that, you know, normal period pain and all that. And because again, as a taboo subject. Now, what else do you think contributes to this long delay of diagnosis?
The fact that, you know, it's something that women have been going through historically. It's known that women, you know, have pains during their period. So it's not something that is looked into as something serious. When a woman goes in to say, you know, I think there's something wrong, I'm in pain. And also, when a woman goes in, how is she presenting herself? Because if you're presenting yourself and not giving them, like we said, have a journal, you're not showing the facts or the details of things that you're going through or you're experiencing, the doctor might just think, okay, it's just normal period pain, which now we're trying to fight against. There's nothing normal about having period pain. If anyone comes in and says, I've got period pain, you need to, you know, look further. And again, like I said earlier, being on contraceptives and all of that, it's it's something that's
as well.
It's a major one, one of the major ones. So, and I think also the health system need to change the way it looks at women's health, because women's health is really suffering. We don't get we don't get enough. There's lack of funding, lack of research. All of this encompasses, you know, the reasons why there's the delay. Because if more research is done and there's funding to do the research, funding to do everything that we need, I'm sure that. And you wanted to go for a test, you know, they'll say, oh, you know, there's a queue. Because obviously we need more equipment, we need more. Everything still boils down to funding, to research, and the doctors need to also do more research for themselves to help the women.
Yeah, talking about research, I know, you know, there's now some funding to do some research on women's health, and finally we're getting there slowly but surely.
Slowly.
Slowly, surely. But yeah, I mean, like they say, the journey of 1,000 miles begins with a one step. So
Because of the step.
this is a step in the right direction, and we hope it continues. Yeah. I mean, I suppose for someone like you and myself, it's because we perhaps have had personal experience like yourself, or
Experiences.
just curious. You do some research and you find it's like you said, research on women has been very lacking.
Very.
And we're very much different from men. And the same way you treat a man, maybe perhaps have high blood pressure, it's not the same way, but we should be treating a woman that has the same condition, because the heart is different. So, but like I said, a step in the right direction. We're getting more research done on women's health. So you've mentioned a few times about finding ways to cope and manage, and just want you to talk about, perhaps complementary therapies. I know we talk about lifestyle, nutrition, movement, and stress management. I'll just maybe share some of the tips that work for you, for our listeners.
Okay. The first place I started with was with my diets when it came to nutrition, because like I said, when you eat some things, you find out you're feeling bloated, you find out you're so uncomfortable, you're throwing up. And as a Nigerian, we've been, I don't want to use the word manufactured, but we've been brought up to eat food that is very hot, very spicy.
We like
That
the
is
heat.
not a good thing when it comes to the heat is lovely. That's not something, when you're going through this, it's a trigger for the pain. So learning to reduce that was a bit of a problem for me, because when I eat something that's not spicy enough, I feel like I'm going to throw up. And then being told you have to reduce or cut it out, I was like, oh my goodness, how am I going to manage without having so much spice in my food?
That food doesn't taste right.
I had to learn. No, it's not. It's incomplete.
Yep.
So, but with time, I had to do it, because when you're going through pain, you're ready to do. You're willing to do anything just to, So I started with that. Then I cut out red meat. I cut out fried food. I cut out dairy.
Yeah.
So even if I have to have anything dairy, it has to be lactose-free, gluten-free, all of them. So mostly oat milk.
Oat milk, yeah. I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love it.
And it's super easy to make as well.
I never tried making it though.
It's easy.
Yeah. Yeah. So I noticed it was working for me. I ate more fish, white meat, chicken. What else? I started eating loads of greens.
Yes.
And because of my iron, I had severe iron deficiency because I was severely anemic.
And without the bleeding, no surprises.
Yeah. So most of my meals were mostly high in iron as well, high in protein. So I was eating more of greens, green plantain, sweet potatoes, all of that, just to build my energy and my iron levels. Exercise. I started going for walks. I've never been to the gym, by the way, so this body is just so I go for walks, do stretches, and I also added skipping into it, because I noticed that because I wasn't I noticed my joints were hurting so much. My joints hurt so badly, so I had to start adding extra stuff to it to help the body. And especially the walks were really good, because I know when I come back, have a shower, I feel really, really, really energized.
Oh, walking is lovely.
Yeah. So whenever I am able to, I do it. I mean, when I was in that space of pain and all of that. Well, sometimes you can't even manage. So, but yeah, it does help. The stretches and all of that helps. Also with stress management, oh my goodness. Stress is a food. It's like you're feeding it. So you have to avoid stress.
Yeah.
I know it's not, you can't avoid it 100%, but I mean,
But manage it.
find ways to manage it. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Sleep when you should sleep. Stay off your devices.
Yes.
Stay off your devices. Can I say that one more time? Stay off your devices.
Especially
You need
at
to,
nighttime.
especially at nighttime. I cut off from watching the news over 2 years now, I think. I don't watch the news. I don't read the newspaper. Just when people tell me stuff, yes. Even my algorithm on my social media doesn't bring me any news. It doesn't bring me, because of what I feed my mind, what I feel feed myself, because
Yeah.
I feel
Yeah.
like I'm the kind of person who gets really emotional, and all of that triggers everything. So
Yes.
I'm careful. So my algorithm would not even bring me, oh, somebody was shot today in Buckingham or some. It won't bring that up, because I
Yeah.
don't, it doesn't bring anything negative to me, because that's not what I want. So,
Yeah.
and when I need a break, I need a break. Like, I've not been on social media per se for a few days now, and I just needed that break. So I've always done that. Sometimes I could take a whole month. I've always done that. And I realized it was helpful, because sometimes that pressure of you saying, oh, I need to be there to let people know this is happening. Sometimes you just need to be in your space, relax, and just be there for yourself.
Yeah. Living in your own
just
world.
really in your own world. Spend time with family and friends, spend time doing the things, look for hobbies that will make you relax, even if, just find things that would just calm you, take your mind away from everything, really. Yeah.
Absolutely.
So those are the things I did that, kind of helped along the way. And yeah,
Well
it
done,
helped, especially with the
sister.
constipation and bloating. I'd say nutrition would help. So going the holistic way is always one of the best things that you can do for your body.
Absolutely. Thank you. I mean, you've mentioned about triggers and going, holistic, and pretty much that works for probably every other condition that that we know. It needs to, like we say on this show, we're all about health and wellness. We talk about making sure we're getting enough sleep, having a good sleep hygiene, hydration, moving the body, exercising, managing stress, because stress is a huge one. In fact, it's
It
one of
is.
the topics we're going to be talking about in a future episode. It's just how when we're so stressed, I mean, a little stress is good. We need it to help us to get up and go and do things and accomplish things. But it's a chronic, long-standing stress that causes damage to our bodies. And that's what we're trying to avoid, or in this case, manage. Because, it feeds so many diseases, and
it does.
Yeah, in the body. Yeah.
And another thing I also added to it was therapy. I started therapy, almost 2 years now.
Excellent.
Yeah. I added therapy to it, and it's really, really, really good.
Yeah.
You're speaking to someone who's not judgmental, is not judging you, who's sometimes I'm asked questions. Maybe I say something and they ask me a question, and I answer. I'm like, I actually had the answer to that. Why am I stressing over this? So sometimes I know. Again, I remember the first time I mentioned I was doing therapy. Someone said to me, are you?
Yeah.
You know how we are. I was like, no, that's not the reason. I just, so I encourage us as the Black community as well. We need to learn to do therapy. It doesn't take away your faith.
No.
Because people are like, you don't have enough faith. I'm like, no, it doesn't take away your faith. It has nothing to do with that. If you think it's about faith, then you shouldn't be seeing a doctor in the first place.
Word.
So it doesn't take away anything from you. It just it helps you.
It's just someone to talk to, really, isn't it? Like you said, someone that's not family, not friend, they're not judgmental. It's just a way to vent and, have another perspective, perhaps.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. A therapy one, we did have an episode a few months ago where we talked about therapy, trying to get people to understand, therapy and why it's important. And yeah, like you said, it doesn't get in the way of our faith. So, thank you.
Not at all.
Not at all. Not at all. So, people, if you need to seek therapy, please do. Talk. Right. So I know we're probably not going to finish all the questions we had to want to ask today, but I'll touch on maybe another 2 or so if you still have time. And then I'll let you go so you can enjoy the rest of your day. So one of the things I discovered recently is that some countries are now offering paid menstrual leave for women with severe menstrual disorders. What are your thoughts on that policy?
Amazing.
Okay.
I mean, when I saw it, I was like, wow, amazing.
Yeah.
The fact that you go into work in pain, trying to complete your task for the day, wake up early, get home, carry on every day, and then you're given this opportunity to get a leave. Obviously, I'm not saying people should misuse it. If you know you're in severe pain that you can barely stand on your feet, yes, amazing for you. And I wish that we could have it here in the UK because there's so many of us struggling, so many. And I can't remember the statistics now, but lots of women are leaving work due to their health condition, from menopause to fibroids to adenomyosis to endometriosis. We're losing so much women who are
so many
supposed
talents,
to be,
so many experiences, we're losing as a result.
we're losing so many. And, if we could get something like that workforce here, I'm sure so many women would go back to work. And those who are at work, who are thinking about leaving work, would stay in work.
Yes, because the support is in place. Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Because that major support that we need. The big one.
Yeah. And like, as a menopause coach practitioner, I'm glad to see that the conversation is getting louder and louder. And we have many workplaces now where we have menopause champions and, managers as well as employees are being trained to understand what exactly is this menopause and how can we support our women going through the menopause, which is fantastic. So we need more.
I'm really glad this
conversations.
Glad it's happening now.
Yeah. So we can say in our time
we saw changes. Yes,
absolutely. Yes. So finally, before you go, so we talked about speaking up, journaling. So what advice would you give to a young woman or a teenage girl who feels something is wrong, but actually the fear of speaking up, they have that fear and they don't want to talk? What else can we say to that?
Well, we said it already. You need to just speak up. You need to speak up. You need to start from somewhere.
Yeah.
You need to speak to someone close to you. If you're a teenager, it could be a teacher. It could be, someone that you can confide in school. It doesn't necessarily have to be your parents, because sometimes our parents can be a bit, what's the word I use now? Yes. Because especially with mothers, like period pain, just take this. I know this person who did this and that, or when I was your age, and they just dismiss it. Not all, I don't mean all mothers are like that. Some mothers are understanding, but a lot of times, I've interviewed so many women and heard their stories and what they've been through. So I know that sometimes going to family is not the best decision. So it could be someone else. And like I said, it could be your auntie, your cousin, your friend, anyone you can speak to. Ask them questions. Ask them what their periods are like. Or even if you don't know anything about, even if you've not started having pain, you can start asking questions so you know what it's supposed to be like.
Yes.
Educate yourself, know more, learn. You don't have to be going, I say something, you don't have to go through the experience before you start taking care of yourself. Your body, your health is your wealth. So you need to start from scratch. Even if you start going holistic way, even when you're young, there's so many things you're not going to go through that we have gone through. You don't have to experience it.
Absolutely.
You don't have to. The same thing with a young woman, I'd say. And don't stay quiet, please.
Don't stay quiet.
Or join a community, because sometimes you go join a community where people who have have experienced these things are coming out to say or share their story.
So exactly.
You can ask questions there because it's safe. You can learn from there. You can go for events. Go for events that have to do with these things and learn from there.
Yeah.
So you really don't have to even if you don't want to speak up, you can go to events, find out,
And
is there
listen.
an event
Yeah.
regarding this thing? Listen
Yes.
to what they're
And
saying.
listen. Absolutely. Yeah. So I think that's probably your last word to us today. Educate yourself and speak up. Okay, maybe 2 words. Educate yourself and speak up. Or is there anything else you want to add to it before we finish?
No, it's really important. And just remember that, you're enough and you're enough and you're not alone.
You're enough and you're not alone. Wow. Thank you so much for your time today, for coming to share your experience, for continuing to advocate for us women folk that are going through, similar things. And perhaps we'll have a third episode. I don't know. Something else to talk about. But it really has been great having you on the show, and I'm sure our listeners and viewers will say the same. So I'll let you go and enjoy the rest of your day.
And thank you so much for having me.
You're very welcome, and thank you for accepting my invite to come on the show. Thank you. So, dear viewers, you've heard it all. Please do speak up. And for maybe the male people in our families, partners, friends, please support the female people in your life that may be going through, whether it's fibroid, endometriosis, any sort of womb, disorder or whatever disorder. Please listen and support them. So until next time, remember, let us stay and get wealthy together by being healthy. Take care.